family. This your boy McDullough, none than your boy, aka Mr. Tourist. I'm in Boston, Massachusetts, and I'm trying to head to Rome. I'll be spending like a day in Rome, and from there I'm gonna make my way to Ukraine. I'll be doing my New Year in Ukraine. So this video is it's more like a recap of my travels in 2019, just like a wrap-up video. So my year started very early. My trip started early in January, and where did I go? Also early this year in January, we had this, people went crazy doing this the 10-year challenge. I remember that. I think it was like in early January or so, but I remember I did the 10-year challenge. Yeah, that was a thing in January. I did that, and I kicked off my trip I went to London in January, and I flew from Greensboro, North Carolina. I flew to Atlanta, Georgia, Atlanta to New York. That's 2 flights. Number 3 flight was New York to London. That's my 3rd flight, where I attended my conference, BED conference. I left London and I flew straight to Poland. I was in Poland. I did a few things in Poland. I got a few business in Poland. So I left Poland. I flew to Brussels in Belgium. And when I left Belgium, actually I connected in Belgium. So that was like number 5 flights. And I went straight to Budapest in Hungary. I went to see my cousin. It's been a while that I saw him, like 10 years ago. I think that's my 6th flight or so. I left Budapest. I flew to Vienna in Austria. I left Austria and I flew straight to Barcelona in Spain. I went to see my friend. I think I should fly on 10th flight. So from Barcelona, I was going back to the Ukraine, and I had to connect back in London because I flew one of those airlines. I think it was Ryanair. So I had to leave Barcelona, flying Ryanair, connected back in London, Stansted Airport, and then back to Ukraine. I got to Ukraine, I flew to Odessa, that was down south, and what else? I think I lost count already. I did my stop in Odessa, and I flew back to Kiev. Kiev, I flew straight to London. I flew straight to London. I think that was like 12 flights or so. In London, I landed in Stansted Airport, and from Stansted I took a bus to Gatwick Airport, where I flew from Gatwick to Amsterdam. Amsterdam, I flew to New York. New York, I flew to Detroit, I believe. And Detroit, I flew to my city in North Carolina. So in January, I had 17 flights. That was the highlight of my January. February, I don't know if I traveled or not, but I think I probably went within the US in February. In March, I was in Milan and I was in Rome. Yeah. In March, I went to Rome. I think I flew from, not sure anymore, but I had 17 flights or 20 flights already. So I flew from North Carolina I flew from Greensboro to Charlotte to New York, New York to Paris to Milan. I left Milan to Rome. I had like great meals. I had like one of my best seafood was, actually I had great meals in Milan and in Rome. both places I had fun. And I went to Vatican City. I didn't really get to go in because it was a lot of crowd, so I didn't really get to go in. But then I flew back to Milan to connect my flight to Amsterdam, and Amsterdam to New York, New York to Atlanta, Atlanta to Greensboro, North Carolina. That was in March. So by then, already by end of March, I think I had end of March I've had probably like almost 40 flights by end of March. I'm not sure. In May, same thing. I flew from North Carolina to Atlanta, Atlanta to New York, New York to Paris. I remember that. Paris, straight to Lagos. I got to Lagos. I flew from Lagos to Abuja, back to Lagos. Sorry, I take that back. I didn't go to Abuja in May. So I flew from Lagos to Nairobi. That was in May. Nairobi. I was in Nairobi for 2 days, and Nairobi I went straight to Kigali. That was a fun trip. I had fun in Kigali. I love Kigali. Kigali is by far the cleanest city in Africa. Like, so clean, so organized. I think their president, Paul Kagame, is doing a wonderful job. I love Kigali. So I backtrack Kigali because I flew Kenya Airways. So I flew Kigali back to Nairobi, Nairobi to Lagos, and from Lagos I flew straight to Lagos to Paris, Paris to New York, New York. I think I had some delays in New York. I had to sleep over in New York. So I flew New York to Atlanta, Atlanta back to North Carolina. So by then, I think I've done like 60 flights, I believe, in all that, or 65 or 70, I'm not sure. 60 flights. That was in May. In July, my very, very good friend in Helsinki, she was doing her 10-year wedding anniversary, and it was like a big party. She turned 40, and that was I promised her I had to go. I promised her earlier. I got the invite long time ago, so I had to go. So I flew from Greensboro to Atlanta. Sorry, I take that back. I drove from Greensboro to Raleigh-Durham. I flew Raleigh-Durham 6 hours to I flew 6 hours to Los Angeles, and from Los Angeles I flew like 15 hours to Paris. So I flew 15 hours to Paris, and I flew Paris to Helsinki in Finland. That was one of my highlights of 2019. So when I got to Helsinki, my hotel, I was just walking, and I saw some black people having party. They just, they're having fun, and I'm like, shit, I'm gonna join them. I just went there, crashed the party, and we just started drinking together, having fun. It was fun. I made a few friends. I think I made like 3 friends. We're still friends though. So from there I went to the wedding. I've not worn suit in a long time. I had like a 3-piece. I've not done it in a very, very long time, so I had to wear my suit, and I look funny. I'm gonna put a picture up so you can see that. What else? So yeah, when I got there, I took the ferry. I took ferry from Helsinki to Tallinn in Estonia. It's beautiful, beautiful ferry. The ferry cost about $40. So I took a round trip. I think it was like $60 round trip. So it was a beautiful ferry ride, like 2 hours ferry ride from Helsinki to Tallinn, Estonia, and I did the same thing back. When I got back to Helsinki, I flew from Helsinki to Riga. Riga is in Latvia. Those are like northern Baltic countries. They're northern Europe, like way, way north. So when I left Riga, I flew. I shot a video in Riga, beautiful video. From Riga, I flew. I hate those planes that you could see the propellers. I forgot the name, but I'm gonna remember later. I forgot the names. I flew one of those tiny little planes. I flew to Palanga in Lithuania. It's a beautiful city. Palanga is a beautiful city. Well, I was the only black guy there when I was shooting my video. Like, I didn't see no one. Like, I'm the only black guy there. From Palanga, I took like a 2-hour bus ride, like an hour bus ride, to a city called Klaipėda. It's a beautiful seaside town. It's way up north in Lithuania. I shot beautiful videos there. And from there, I took the 4 hours bus. I took a 4-hour bus ride back to Vilnius, the capital city, and I had to connect my flight from Vilnius to Odessa. Odessa, Ukraine. You know, summertime in Europe is always fun. There was this beach called Kobliva in Ukraine. You know, there's so much hype about this beach, Kobliva. And I've been going to Ukraine for a long time now. And like, I've never been to this beach. I had to satisfy my curiosity about this beach called Kobliva in Ukraine. It's like an hour from Odessa. So I had to go. I went there. When I got there, there was storm, which caused the jellyfishes. They came out, they're dead. The beach was smelling and stinking, and there was way too many mosquitoes. I'm like, nah, I ain't leave Africa to be eaten by mosquitoes right here in Europe. No, shit, I ain't doing that. So I didn't enjoy that. I didn't enjoy the beach. I think the Kobliva is overrated. Everything's expensive, so I didn't really like it. But they told me to go back, you know, probably like in a better time when there's no storm, when the weather is nice. But I left already. So my experience in Kobliva, I didn't really like it. Anyway, I flew from, you know, Odessa to Kiev, and from Kiev I flew straight to Athens in Greece. I love Athens. I love Athens. I love Greece. So I went to the Acropolis. I went to Athena. I went to a lot of places. My hotel, I didn't really like my hotel, but you know, the view, Athena, Acropolis made up for that. So I love that. I met a special friend. She's Russian. I think her name is Maria. Yeah, that was one of my highlights in Greece. We still talk. She invited me to come to Russia, which I'll probably go next year. So I shot beautiful videos, you know, in Athens, and then I flew straight to Stockholm. If you know me, you know I'm a big foodie. I love food. So there's this sushi people have been talking about in Stockholm, like this, you know, and being a foodie, I had to go confirm. So I flew straight to Stockholm in Sweden. I tried the sushi. It's it's worth every single thing, every hype. It's worth everything. I was in Stockholm for about 6 hours. I ate the sushi. I liked it. I went to town, shot videos, and that night I left Stockholm, Sweden. I left Sweden. I flew back to Helsinki. The next morning, I flew from Helsinki back to Paris, and from Paris I flew 15 hours or 14 hours straight to Los Angeles, and from Los Angeles I flew straight another 6 hours to Raleigh-Durham, and from Raleigh-Durham I drove to that driver fly, I'm not sure anymore. So that was about that time I was like on my flight number 70, or I lost count, probably like 60 or 70 flights. So that was in July. I didn't travel until September. In September, where did I go? In September, yeah, that was when I lost my phone. So in September, I was looking for a cheap flight. I was gonna go to Africa. So I flew from my regular routine. I flew from Greensboro to Atlanta, Atlanta to New York, New York to Amsterdam, then Amsterdam straight to sorry, I take that back. I went for a conference, IBC conference, International Broadcasting Conference in Amsterdam. So I flew from Greensboro to Atlanta, Atlanta to New York, New York to Barcelona. When I got to Barcelona, I took another flight from Barcelona straight to Amsterdam. That was September. The conference was September 13 to 16, or 13 to 19. So when I got to Amsterdam, I attended my conference. I met a new guy. I met a friend, Sean. He's Sean, forgive me if I messed up the country, but he's from Taiwan. He lives outside Taiwan. He does this TV box, control box, but I'm gonna get to that later. So after my conference, I flew straight to Warsaw, Poland. From Warsaw, Poland, I flew to Lithuania. I flew to Vilnius, Lithuania, and from Lithuania, I flew to Africa. But before I went to Africa, I flew Air France, which took me to Paris. I spent a night with my homeboy and his family. He just got his new house, so he was showing off, bragging for me. Shout out to my homeboy Nii in Paris. So I spent a night there in Paris. So the next day, I flew from Paris to Lagos, Nigeria. I was in Nigeria for a few days. I think about a day or 2 days. I was in Nigeria for 2 days, I believe. Yeah, 2 days. So the second day I left Nigeria. I was done with my business. I flew from Lagos to Amsterdam. When I got to Amsterdam, something terrible happened. I was racially profiled, and it was so bad that I complained about it. And one of the biggest vlogging website in Nigeria, called Instablog Nigeria, carried that news. I was racially profiled. I was upset about it. I voiced my opinion out. The website carried it, and it got about 600,000 views. Out of the 600,000 views, I have about 400,000 people threatening me, Nigerians threatening me, and about 200,000 supported me. 400,000 like went crazy. You crazy? Because it was just crazy. But I put myself out there. So I got a lot of hate mails, but I don't care. I eat beef for breakfast, so shit. I've been doing this for a while, so I don't really care about all that. Anyway, from Amsterdam, I flew back to Lithuania because my ticket was originating from Lithuania. When I got to Lithuania, I flew back home to Ukraine. I got to Kiev, and I flew from Kiev again to Nikolaev. A family member took me on his yacht. I was on the yacht. I was just messing around. I love that. It was cold. Yeah, it was getting colder in September. So I remember that. From there, I left Nikolaev to Odessa, and there I lost my $1,000 phone. All the videos that I've shot on the edited videos for over a year I lost all my work. Excuse me. So that was a very bad time for me. It was bad. I lost my phone and it wasn't good. So I was partying. I stayed in a place in Odessa that looks much like LA. I was like, is this LA or Odessa? From there, I lost my phone, but from there I flew straight to Prague. I was going to shoot a video in Prague. I had these plans for Prague in Czech Republic, but because I lost my phone, I couldn't do that. So it kind of messed up my mood. From Prague, I just flew straight to Barcelona to meet my homeboy. I'd promised him to spend more time with him, but I got to Prague. Since I lost my phone, it wasn't a good time for me. So I spent a night there with him. He took me around. He tried to make me, just feel better. He took me out. We went eating. We went riding bicycle. Yeah, I felt better a little bit after I lost my phone. I felt better. So he took me and his girlfriend. We went around. We went, go kart and bicycle riding, eating. We did a lot of fun stuff. I actually enjoyed Barcelona. I was thinking I was going to move to Barcelona. I actually thought about moving to Barcelona until my homeboy told me he's leaving Barcelona. He's trying to relocate. Anyway, from there, from Barcelona, I flew back to Paris to New York, New York to Atlanta, Atlanta to North Carolina, to Greensboro. So by then, I think I was on flight number 70 or 80 already. I'm not sure. And I didn't travel since September until October, November, December, until December 7. I had to quickly. December 7 was when I had my crazy 3 days. I did a series of vlogging. So I quickly went from Greensboro to Raleigh-Durham to Washington DC, Washington DC to Amsterdam, Amsterdam to Kiev, Kiev to Odessa, Kiev to Nikolaev, and I turned around. I spent 6 hours back there in Kiev, and I turned around Kiev straight to Odessa to Kiev back to I flew to Kiev to Rome to Amsterdam, and Amsterdam to New York to where's that flight? New York to I forgot. This was my last trip. How did I forget? New York to Raleigh-Durham, and I drove from Raleigh-Durham to Greensboro, North Carolina. So by then I had clocked 85 flights. 83. Within that time, last week I went back to DC 84, coming back 85 flights. So as of this morning, I had done 85 flights, and I flew this morning from North Carolina to New York, 86, and I flew New York to Boston. Right now I'm in Boston, Massachusetts. 87 flights. I'm gonna leave Boston right here, straight to Rome. It's gonna be 88. I'm gonna do Rome to Kiev, 89, and last flight for the year, Kiev to Odessa, 90 flights. I'm gonna cap it up there. 90 flights for the year 2019. I think that's pretty fair enough. I've been doing this for the past 12, 13 years. I do between a minimum of 50 to 120 flights. The most I did was in 2013. I did 124 flights. In 2013, I did 124 flights. But every year, average, I do at least 50 flights every year. Last year, I did 75 or 80 flights. In 2017, I probably did 90 something flights. This is my life. The only place I feel alive is when I'm 35,000 above sea level. Those are my best moments. Love it. Alright, guys. Wishing you happy New Year, happy holidays, a prosperous 2020. See ya.